Hello and welcome to my factory! So we'll start the grand tour here, I guess, since we've just come out of the thingamabob. This is one of my main assembly lines. This was probably the first I built, as in like mass production line. What this area does is produce rods and plates. Those rods and plates don't really serve much of a purpose anymore besides going to storage or going into this segment up here for reinforced plate production. As you can see here. So all the rods that go into these factories here for screw production, the plates come in on their own separate lines, all of which get combined into glorious reinforced plate, of which we're making many of. So as you can see, we're using an alternate recipe to make the crap tons, and we have some storage worth as well. These go used in many other things which I can't remember of, and it's somewhat balanced. Down there we have steel production, specifically steel beams used for a variety of things. I think they're mostly for the versatile frameworks, if I'm correct, and stuff like that. Going up to this area is coal power A. This is my primary coal power source and my primary power source until I transition more into fuel power. It consumes huge amounts of coal and water and is a pain in my ass generally, but otherwise works wonders. As you can see down here is the modular frame factory, followed up by the, if I can get over there, the modular frame factory. Yeah, this is used for both storage, as we have here, crap tons, and is used for other things such as heavy modular frames, such as, I forget, smart plating, I believe. Yep, versatile frameworks and I think smart plating. Over here is where some of our other rotors and our reinforced plates are produced to make smart plating, so not modular frames either, I said. Yeah, at the moment I don't have a use for any of it, so it all just gets dumped into this thing. I'll take 2 more tickets. Which is nice, so we have it all there in case we need it again, and I think we do actually, so that's good I kept that. But otherwise it all goes into the sink. Over here we have a section which I forgot to power on. Okay, never mind. There we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so this area is rotor and motor production. If we give that a moment. Actually, while we give that a moment, we can see what's going on here. So all our rotors are being made here, and excesses are being saved, and this is the excess, the rest are being sent off to other places, such as motors. I don't have a use for motors at the moment, besides the occasional thing I need to make by hand, so I just throw them in a box. Over here is our secondary and main production line for all this shit. This took a huge amount of math and is a pain in my ass. But luckily, I only had to do it once and never to do it again. This makes all my automated wiring, so we've got 4 assemblers worth of automated wiring, which is more than anyone ever fucking want. But I also believe this gets used in something else, so ultimately I win. We have a crap ton of stators. Stator production. I think we connect the power back up in a second, but we'll get over to that. Steel pipes used for stators, with their own dedicated steel production line here. Any excess we put in a box. Always useful to put your excess in a box, that way you can use it. That needs connecting. Yeah, so that's all that. We have over here, we have some copper processing, as well as some copper sheet useful for pipes, which I have plenty of. Over here we have some just generic steel being made. And I fell off. That's a pig trying to kill me. It's a good thing I installed that. Whee. Okay, so over here is coal power B. It's a much smaller array of coal power, using a different source of water and a little less coal, but still, you know, more than I actually want to get rid of. But you know, it's nice. I have no... It's mostly sustainable, so I have no issue in keeping it. It provides my base load, which is quite nice. Over here is copper wire. Many copper wire factories, including some which can be turned on for later use. Not sure what that later use is yet, but I'm sure we'll find it. We have our cable production line, which is going to cut back through the old motor rotor. We're going to hook it up back to power and pray that it works. Hey! There we go. You see, if you put everything on in sequence, it works wonders. I'm not turning that on because that takes more power than I'm willing to give credit for. Because I haven't expanded my power enough to turn this whole segment on yet. Be a bit insane if I did. Need to actually localize this power source, but there we go. So over there we have our fuel generators. So far we have 3, but I believe we can support up to 5 or 6 at the moment, so we need to expand that. This is where we're making our heavy modular frames. I'd like to draw your attention, however, to my lovely piping. It's so beautiful. It's so much fun. I mean, this is great. Just go around underneath the whole thing, and there's a little box up to here. So, but anyway, we have our heavy modular frames, our encased steel beams, some extra steel beam, you know, just normal steel beams for, you know, for me. In fact, we need that for the current project, so that's quite useful. And then we follow our piping, which takes oil one way and fuel the other. That's the general input-output of this thing, with byproducts being plastic and rubber and some residue. As you can see, it's very neat, very tidy, and this is probably my grandest achievement I've done, which is to get pipes to look not shit. That needs to be... yeah, we need to put a wall there, but otherwise that's fine. But yeah, a little bit of fuel refinery coming from our main oil refinery over here. Which is this row of oil refineries, which produce my plastic and rubber, and as a byproduct the oil residue, or whatever the fuck it's called. Heavy oil residue, there we go. Which we do make slightly more than we use, so we throw it into these storage tanks first. As in, we only ever so slightly make more than we use, so this isn't growing at a very slow rate. All of which gets stored into here, which we are running out of storage for very quickly, so we need to actually make use of that. Actually, the whole reason I made this was for this small segment down here, which is our computer production. Taking in crystal oscillators and electronic circuits over there, into this one assembler to make 3 computers a minute. Which is really nothing, so this is actually awful. But we'll make more, so it's not a big deal. For now, what we'll do is just require so much resources to make those assemblies. I'm hoping for a better recipe, but I doubt I'll get it. But yeah, that's our factory so far. There is a bit of a power issue so far, which is a bit weird because it was working earlier. But adding in the oil refineries and all our other segments all together has caused us to, you know, be a bit close to our power. But what we can do is dump in some steel and some modular frames. And all we need now is the 40 computers. And then we get trains. Which is wonderful. But yeah, this is my factory. It's very nice. And if we go underneath it, you can see the vast networks of conveyor belts that sprawl underneath us, hidden from sight. Honestly, the worst part of my base, and the bit I also don't care about, because they all have a destination, so I don't really care how they get there, to be honest. It could be a mess under here as long as they get from A to B. Apart from this concrete line, which I need to get rid of, I keep forgetting to. But these are general my inputs, outputs, minor outputs, things that need further processing and stuff like that. Throwing it underneath is just a lot less hassle than, you know, piping it on, conveyor belting it on top. But yeah, I don't really know where any of this goes. I just know it exists. Yeah, we have train station. We have bus station A for coal processing and bus station B for power coal. I think we're actually making use of all our coal now, so... Oh no, I take it back, we're not. That's just we're burning all of it, so there we go. And, yeah. Good thing about my base design is, I've tried to do it anyway, it's not fully complete, is these set of cables here. So we have, this cable here is for the main factory. This cable here is for oil refinery. And this cable over here is the cable for this entire section, minus the power. So essentially, if I need to save power, I can cut those cables and, you know, redistribute my power if needed, or, you know, save it and have it run internally on my power system. Because my power, all my power, including to an extent the oil refinery, can all be run on itself without having to run any of the factory on top of it, which is great, which as it prevents the trucks running out of coal. So yeah, a couple of things I need to get rid of, a couple of things I need to update. I need to actually finish off computers now and put in some trains. And finish off my Hypertube network because it's a bit crap. Like, it gets you roughly from A to B, but it's a bit annoying. And, yeah, that's my factory. Bye-bye.